the Honorable Michael B. Halkitis, Dr. the Honorable Godwin Friday, Premiers the Honorable Coral Hodge Richardson and the Honorable Natalio Wheatley, President Daniel Best, Vice President Corporate Services Ms. Gillian Charles Gollop, CDB's Bank Secretary Ms. Alana Goodman, Ministers, distinguished governors, directors, representatives of regional and international organizations, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and our viewers online across the region, welcome to the closing ceremony of the 56th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank. My name is Cassian James, the Acting Director of Communication and Corporate Affairs at the bank, and your host for today. Over the past few days, we have engaged in meaningful dialogue, shared valuable insights, and reaffirmed our collective commitment to the accelerated development of our region. This ceremony marks not only the conclusion of a productive meeting, but also is a moment to reflect on what has been achieved and to look ahead with a renewed purpose. To begin, I now invite President Daniel Best to deliver his remarks. President.
Thank you, Cassian. Honorable ministers, excellencies, distinguished partners, colleagues, and friends, good afternoon. As we bring this 56th annual meeting of the Board of Governors to a close, we do so knowing that our work does not end here. If anything, it begins anew, carrying forward the ideas we shared, the partnerships we strengthened, and the commitments we made to build a stronger future for the Caribbean together. I extend my deepest gratitude to the government and people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas for once again embracing us at a defining moment in our region's history. As I stated in my opening remarks yesterday, Nassau reminds us of how far we have come and how each generation has risen to meet new challenges with the same enduring spirit that carries us forward. So to every governor, development partner, young voice, and private sector leader that filled these rooms, thank you. You showed up and engaged, challenged us, and committed yourselves to working in partnership with the bank to transform lives for Caribbean people. And we have heard the call from the governors for a more unified approach and for us to move swiftly to implement the reform agenda and operationalize the strategic plan with urgency to deliver tangible results for our people. We are committed to doing just that by aligning our efforts across countries and partners, accelerating decision-making and deploying practical solutions that translate policy into progress. Our focus is to move to implementation, from plans to performance, and to ensure that every action we take delivers meaningful and lasting change for the Caribbean. Friends, we arrived this week carrying the weight of a world in flux. Intensifying climate shocks, deepening geopolitical tensions, constrained fiscal space, slowing global growth, and another hurricane season already upon us. These realities have not changed, but we continue to approach these challenges with collective purpose. Throughout this meeting, we listened to one another. We exchanged ideas, and together we confronted some of the defining questions of our time. How do small states remain competitive in a rapidly changing global economy? How do we build resilience while carrying some of the highest vulnerability burdens in the world? How do we create opportunities for our young people in a region where talent is abundant but opportunity is too often unevenly distributed? And how do we ensure that the institutions we depend upon are fit for the challenges ahead? While the discussions were wide-ranging, I believe a common message emerged. The future of the Caribbean will not be determined by the challenges we face. It will be determined by the choices we make in response to them. As Prime Minister Davis reminded us, our goal cannot simply be to survive. Our mission is to thrive. That conviction is reflected in the Caribbean Development Bank Strategic Plan for 2026 to 2035 and was evident throughout this annual meeting. At its heart lies a simple proposition: resilience is not an end in itself. Resilience is the foundation upon which prosperity is built. It is why the bank has committed itself to advancing economic resilience, social resilience, and environmental resilience, while placing youth, climate, and institutions at the center of our development agenda. And this week demonstrated why. In the Impact Room, we were reminded that sustainable development cannot be financed by public resources alone. The conversations reinforced the importance of mobilizing private capital, strengthening entrepreneurship, and creating the conditions for investment-led growth that expands opportunity across our region. Through EdgeX by CDB, we reaffirmed that in an era of uncertainty, data, evidence, and knowledge are strategic assets. Better decisions require better information, and stronger policies require a deeper understanding of the risks and opportunities shaping our future. We were challenged to translate this into action by investing in enhanced data systems, sharing knowledge across borders, and using homegrown evidence, not only to inform our decisions, but to accelerate results where they matter most. Our discussions on climate finance reinforce a reality the Caribbean knows all too well. While we contribute little to global emissions, we remain among the most exposed to climate impacts. Yet the conversation was not one of vulnerability alone. It was one of agency and how we expand access to climate finance, strengthen adaptation, and reform elements of the international financial system that continue to underestimate the realities facing small island developing states. The Youth Fire Forum reminded us that the future is already in the room. Young people from across the region challenged us to think differently, act more boldly, and create systems that match their ambition. The Caribbean's greatest asset is found in the creativity, talent, and potential of our people. We are committed to going further, to working with young people and building an innovation system that develops core skills and links young people directly to real economic opportunities. We will work alongside young leaders, including the bank's Future Leaders Network, to turn that vision into action. We examine how the Caribbean and this bank, your bank, is moving beyond diagnosing vulnerability to deploying financing at scale that reduces debt burdens, attracts private capital, and frees fiscal space for resilience and growth. Working alongside partners, we are reshaping our approach through instruments such as debt for resilience swaps, guarantees, and blended finance, tools that must become standard, not exceptional. Traditional financing alone cannot meet the needs of our borrowing member countries, and we are resolute in innovating to deliver a more resilient and prosperous Caribbean. And the President's chat with CABE and the OPEC Fund underscored an important lesson. In an increasingly fragmented world, partnership remains one of the most powerful tools available to small states. No country can navigate today's challenges alone. Regional cooperation, strategic alliances, and strong development institutions remain essential to building resilience and expanding opportunities. Throughout our conversations at this annual meeting, it is clear that we are determined to build a Caribbean that is increasingly focused on solutions a Caribbean that is prepared to innovate, a Caribbean that is prepared to collaborate, a Caribbean that is prepared to invest in its people, strengthen its institutions, and shape its own future. And perhaps most importantly, they revealed a region that is no longer content simply to manage vulnerability or survive, but is determined to build prosperity. But friends, there is a temptation at moments like these. After days of thoughtful dialogue, renewed partnerships, and bold ideas, to leave feeling satisfied. I urge us to resist it, because satisfaction is the enemy of urgency, and urgency is what this moment demands. The conversations we had this week were important. The ideas were compelling. The commitments were meaningful, but none of them will matter if they remain confined to these meeting rooms. The true measure of this annual meeting will not be what we said in Nassau. It will be what is done after Nassau. The reality is that the pressures facing our region are not waiting for us, and our young people are certainly not waiting for us. They are prepared to act. They are looking to us not for promises, but for progress and delivery. What this moment requires from all of us is implementation with purpose and partnership with intent. It requires governments and multinational institutions willing to pursue different reforms and long-term investments. It requires development institutions willing to move faster, innovate more boldly, and deliver greater impact. It requires the private sector to see opportunity where others see risks. And it requires regional institutions to continue doing what the Caribbean has always done at its best: act together in pursuit of a common future. This is especially important because the challenges before us are increasingly interconnected. Economic resilience cannot be separated from climate resilience. Climate resilience cannot be separated from institutional strength, and institutional strength cannot be separated from human development. And human development ultimately depends on whether people can see opportunity, security, and hope in their everyday lives. So we deliberately centered our discussions this week on these priorities because it should matter to all of us, whether future generations look back on this moment and say that we chose action over complacency, partnership over fragmentation, and progress over inertia. It matters whether they inherit a Caribbean that is more prosperous, more inclusive, more resilient, and more secure than the one entrusted to us. That is the responsibility we must carry forward from Nassau. And that is the work that now begins. The bank cannot do it alone. Development is a shared commitment. To our member governments, we ask for your continued partnership in implementation. Bring your priorities. Bring your ambition, and hold us accountable. To our IFI partners, the multi-guarantor debt for resilience swap, the regional GCF platform, these are the architecture of a new kind of cooperation. Let us build on them as the pressures of a changing world intensify. To the private sector, this week showed us what is possible when capital and purpose align. There's no resilient Caribbean without a vibrant, invested private sector. We need your risk appetite to match your opportunity appetite in this region. To our civil society, academic and community partners, keep demanding more of us. The voices least heard in development corridors are often those who understand ground-level reality most clearly. This bank is listening. And finally, to our young people, you are already shaping this region. The only question is whether the systems around you keep pace with your ideas. I implore you to hold us accountable until they do. And so we leave Nassau. But let us leave carrying with us not just the warmth of Bahamian hospitality, but its spirit, forward-looking, rooted in identity and open to the world. The Bahamas has faced the seas for centuries. It knows what it means to stand at the edge of something vast and uncertain and to build anywhere, to plant anywhere, to believe anywhere. We are forging a future built with our hands, our minds, our partnerships, and our will. Let us create a path where we will be remembered not as the generation that managed uncertainty, but as the generation that forged possibility together. This is the decade of decision and action. It is time for us to accelerate results and impact to transform our Caribbean. Our founders did it for us, against all odds, and now we must do it for generations to come. My friends, I wish you safe travels, and we look forward to welcoming you to our annual meeting next year. Thank you.
Sincerest appreciation, President Best, for those insightful and impactful words on what has truly been a significantly remarkable and memorable week. As we wrap up our annual meeting, hosted in beautiful Bahamas, where many noteworthy decisions critical to the future of our region have been made, I am certain our outgoing chairman is keen to share his thoughts on CDB's meeting graciously hosted by the Commonwealth. Ladies and gentlemen, I now welcome the chairman of the Board of Governors, the Honorable Michael B. Halkitis, to deliver the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, President Best, esteemed governors and directors, distinguished authorities, dear friends. It is a great honor and pleasure to address you at this closing session of the 56th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank after a truly productive and rewarding week. It has been a privilege for the Bahamas to host this important gathering. Over these intense few days, we have welcomed hundreds of participants from the bank and member countries, from the private sector, civil society, international organizations, as well as students and volunteers, all of whom have contributed to the success of this meeting and to the quality of its discussions. We are grateful to each and every one of you. We trust that you found this week to be a worthwhile experience and that your days in Nassau will remain in your memories. Throughout the week, we have been able to convene the various institutional bodies of the bank, including the Board of Directors, the SDF contributors, and of course, our Board of Governors. We have discussed the status and next steps of the bank's governance review and strategic planning, which have provided valuable insights into possible scenarios and directions for the bank's future. These sessions have fostered essential dialogue about the bank's strategic outlook, its work, and its operations, and have once again highlighted the crucial importance of partnerships in achieving our shared objectives. We were also honored to host the 26th William Demas Lecture on the topic relevant to us all, contributions of the courts to Caribbean development, the enduring importance of strong institutions, as well as a rich series of seminars and side events focused on the most pressing challenges facing our countries. I hope this week has reinforced the core theme of our meeting and helped lay the foundations for continued and even stronger collaborative efforts centered on shared regional priorities such as climate action and resilience, the advancement of membership in the bank, strategies for uncertain times, and long-term stability. We extend our sincere thanks to all participants for your valuable contributions. A special word of gratitude goes to the planning teams from the Bahamas and from the CDB, and to everyone who has worked tirelessly over the past year and throughout this week to make this meeting a success. May the ideas discussed and the partnerships strengthened here translate into concrete, impactful actions that will help build a greener, stronger, more resilient, and more sustainable future for the Caribbean. Today's closing also marks the conclusion of the Bahamas' one-year term as chairman of the Board of Governors. The partnership between the Bahamas and the CDB, and through the bank with the countries of the Caribbean, is of the highest importance to us, and we thank you for your partnership. I wish you all a safe journey home. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.
Thank you, Chairman. You may note that some of us may not want to leave, but we'll follow instructions. At the conclusion of this meeting, Belize will assume the chairmanship of the Board of Governors and host the 57th meeting of the Board in 2027. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. the Honorable Osman Martinez, alternate governor for Belize and the chairperson-elect for 2026-2027, to deliver his introductory remarks.
Belize is happy. We are excited. Distinguished Honorable Chair, Governors, Directors, and President of the Caribbean Development Bank, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good day to all. It is a distinct privilege to stand before you today as we reflect on a week of meaningful dialogue amongst our regional family here in the beautiful country of the Bahamas. At the onset, allow me to extend our sincere appreciation and congratulations to the government and people of the Bahamas for their exceptional hospitality, the excellent hosting of this year's annual meeting, and our warmest congratulations on their re-election. To the outgoing chair, Senator, the Honorable Michael Halkitis, thank you for your strong leadership, vision, and stewardship throughout this past year. You and your team have truly embodied Caribbean excellence and warmth. I also wish to extend our profound gratitude to my fellow governors and directors of the CDB for your steadfast commitment and rich contribution to this week's deliberations. Furthermore, a special thank you must go to the dedicated staff of the Caribbean Development Bank. Your tireless work behind the scenes in organizing these events, meaning the logistics and facilitating our meetings, has been foundational to the success of this entire week. The discussions we have shared have been timely, substantive, and forward-looking. At this 56th annual meeting draws to a close, we now look forward to the horizons and towards the next chapter of a regional collaboration. Belize is deeply honored to accept the chairmanship of the Board of Governors for the upcoming period as we prepare to host the 57th annual meeting in June 2027. This occasion marks a significant milestone for us, as Belize will be hosting the annual meeting for the second time since 1994. Belize approaches this responsibility with both humility and ambition. We are We see tremendous opportunity to strengthen regional integration, deepen partnership, and advance innovation. Caribbean-led solutions that build resilient and expand opportunity for all our people. As we look forward to welcoming you, we are eager to share not only our hospitality, but also our rich natural heritage, including the Mesoamerican Reef, which stands proudly as the second largest coral reef system and the largest living coral reef system in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our Prime Minister and incoming chairperson, the Honorable John Briceño, is deeply committed to hosting this prestigious event in 2027 and is eagerly looking forward to welcoming you all to our shores. Unfortunately, he is unable to join us in person today due to pressing prior national commitments. However, ensuring his presence with us in spirit, he has prepared a special video message to formally accept the chairmanship on behalf of the government and people of Belize and to share our nation's visions as we look ahead to 2027. With a clear vision for our shared future and deep commitment to our regional family, it is therefore my distinct honor to invite your attention to the video remarks of the Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable John Briceño.
Distinguished governors, President of the Caribbean Development Bank, special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinct honor to accept the chairmanship of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank on behalf of the government and people of Belize. We are proud to assume this responsibility as we look ahead to hosting the 57th annual meeting in June 2027. I extend my sincere gratitude to the Governor for the Bahamas for his steadfast leadership over the past year and for the gracious hospitality extended to all delegates here. The Bahamas theme for this year's meeting, Forging the Caribbean's Future, Strategic Solutions for Uncertain Times, could not have been more fitting. It is a powerful reminder that even in moments of global uncertainty, division cannot be our response. As geopolitical tensions mount and multilateral frameworks face stress, the Caribbean must anchor itself in unity. We must deepen, not dilute, our regional solidarity. Our strength has never rested on the size of our individual states. It is our collective action, our shared purpose, and our firm belief in a better future for the Caribbean. As such, the challenges before us demand Caribbean solutions rooted in Caribbean realities, and the time to build those solutions is now. As Belize prepares to take on this chairmanship, we do so with a distinct sense of purpose and possibility. Our country occupies a unique space in our region, geographically part of Central America, historically and culturally rooted in the Caribbean, and deeply committed to the shared prosperity of both. That position has shaped much of our approach to development. It has taught us that resilience does not happen in isolation. It is built through connection and integration. We have created tangible networks for collaboration, trade, innovation, climate action, and economic growth. Under our chairmanship, we intend to position Belize as a constructive gateway to harness opportunities to deepen cooperation across our Caribbean family and with our Central American neighbors, translating geographic proximity to shared regional benefit. The challenges we face are increasingly interconnected, and our responses must be as well. Our approach will be guided by CDB's strategic plan for 2026-2035 and its focus on social, economic, and environmental resilience. But beyond policy, Belize hopes to bring these priorities to life. We will place particular emphasis on the blue, green, and orange economies, sectors where our region holds immense untapped value and where Belize has been actively building experience and momentum. From innovative climate financing instruments, such as Belize's Blue Bond, to expanding opportunities for MSMEs and youth entrepreneurship, to advancing conservation, sustainable tourism, cultural industries, and climate resilience initiatives. We believe these sectors represent more than emerging markets. They represent pathways for Caribbean people, especially our youth, to meaningfully participate in the future of this region. Belize's chairmanship will therefore seek to create space for renewed partnerships, regional investment conversations, youth-driven innovation, and solutions that recognize the Caribbean not simply as vulnerable, but as capable, creative, and confident in defining its own development pathway. In 2027, we want our annual meeting to embody what we have affirmed this week: Caribbean unity in action, resilience with purpose, and solutions built on Caribbean terms. A Caribbean that is building, a Caribbean that is innovating, a Caribbean that is poised for possibility. On behalf of the government and people of Belize, I extend to you a warm and heartfelt invitation. We look forward to welcoming you to Belize in June 2027 as we continue together the work of advancing resilience, shared prosperity, and opportunity for our region and our people. Thank you.
Very noteworthy. A Caribbean poised with possibility and an annual meeting that will also be poised with possibility. Dr. Martinez, if you'd be so kind as to take your seat at the head table. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all anticipating what lies ahead. Our Belizean colleagues have also provided us with a teaser, so please direct your attention once more to the screens in the room.
Welcome to Belize, a country defined by rich culture, tradition, and natural abundance, where ideas, culture, and intellect are the sustainable fuels that drive growth and development. Standing at the crossroads of Central America and the Caribbean, Belize is positioned for possibility. At its core, Belize is its people, a vibrant population of just over 428,000. A mosaic of cultures, including Creole, Mestizo, Maya, and Garifuna. It is this diversity that strengthens its social fabric and fuels its capacity for innovation. Belize is a land of infinite potential. Our fisheries, marine, and coastal ecosystems are protected and preserved in perfect balance with tourism, development, and employment. Sustainable agriculture is a way of life, and renewable resources of energy are embraced as drivers of national growth, development, and equity in every community. With a projected GDP increase of 2.5% in 2026, Belize is strengthening key sectors, including agriculture, tourism, and services, while expanding into new and emerging industries. From traditional exports like sugar and citrus to a growing digital services sector, Belize is evolving, creating opportunities for investment, supporting entrepreneurship, and fostering a more diversified economy. Belize is where the Caribbean and Central America meet. Resilient nations, bridging regions, and harnessing possibilities. We'll see you in June 2027.
The anticipation continues to build. Dr. Martinez. So we now come to the handover moment as the incoming chair presents a symbolic gesture to the outgoing chairperson. I now invite members of the head table to just assume positions in front of the stage in the order more or less that you've been seated, with one minor adjustment. So Dr. Martinez would be next to the chairperson. So VP Alana. This is our PR moment, so we have to get this right. All photos and videos curated, yeah? Okay. Can you join us back at the head table in your seats, please? As we transition back to formalities, we now move to the resolution of appreciation, and I invite Governor for Venezuela, Ambassador Raul Licausi, to come to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair, President Best, Governors, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to express congratulations to the government of the Bahamas, the President and the staff of the Caribbean Development Bank on a well-executed and successful 56th annual meeting of the Board of Governors and Events. It is my pleasure to present the resolution of appreciation. The Board of Governors resolves to express its gratitude and appreciation to the chairperson, the government for the Bahamas, for hosting the 56th annual meeting, which was held in the Bahamas during the period June 1st to 5, 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. We welcome Minister Halkitis now to formally close our proceedings.
Thank you very much. I now declare the 56th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank concluded. Thank you very much. And we'll see you at the cultural evening.
We have now come to the close of the ceremony, and with that, to those joining us online and to those joining us in person, we thank you. And just in terms of what happens after, based on the invitation we have, the shuttles leave at 6:15 at the exit to my left. I'm not sure what cardinal point that is, but